Has a player ever burned bridges so spectacularly on his way out? Alexander Isak's $125 million farewell to Newcastle has ignited a firestorm that's dividing the football world. And the Toon Army's response? It's absolutely brutal. What's up? Toon Army, this is NUFC Quick News, your source for raw black and white passion. Before we dive into this absolute madness, hit that subscribe button if you want the inside track on everything Newcastle. Let's get into it. The dust has finally settled on the most controversial transfer of the summer. Alexander Isak is officially a Liverpool player for a British record $125 million, ending his 3-year spell on Tyneside in the most bitter way imaginable. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This wasn't just a transfer. It was a betrayal that's cut deeper than any in recent Newcastle history. Isak refused to train. He refused to play. He literally went AWOL to force this move through. And now, after weeks of silence while his agent took shots at the club, he drops a farewell message on social media trying to play the grateful servant. The timing? Calculated. The sincerity? Newcastle fans aren't buying it for a second. What? Do you think was Isak always planning this exit strategy? Or did Liverpool turn his head at the worst possible moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. His Instagram post reads like a PR exercise. I want to express my gratitude to my teammates, the staff, and above all, the city of Newcastle, and all the amazing supporters for the 3 unforgettable years we shared together. He talks about writing history, reaching the Champions League, winning that first trophy in 70 years. Beautiful words, right? But actions speak louder than any carefully crafted statement. This is the same player who skipped the PFA Awards despite being nominated for Player of the Year. The same player who accused the club of breaking promises in a public Instagram rant just 2 weeks ago. The same player whose agent was disrespecting Newcastle while negotiations were still ongoing. The fan response has been absolutely savage. One supporter summed it up perfectly. Not interested in anything he has to say. Surely that will be the same for most, if not all, NUFC fans. Another added a killer blow. Actions speak louder than words. He refused to play or train for us. Nothing changes that. But here's where it gets really interesting. Multiple fans are convinced this statement wasn't even written by Isak himself. Too little too late. Clearly he has been made to write that, otherwise he would have come out way before now and spoken to fans properly about the whole situation, one eagle-eyed supporter noted. Think about it. Why wait until after the transfer is complete? Why not address the fans when the controversy first erupted? Do you believe Isak wrote this himself? Or is this Liverpool's PR machine already at work? Let me know below. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, smash that like button. The contrast with how Newcastle handled the departure is telling. While Liverpool rolled out the red carpet with announcement videos and fanfare, Newcastle's official statement was ice cold. Just 37 words, no thank you, no mention of his achievements. That's how you know the bridges aren't just burned, they're obliterated. Newcastle United can announce the sale of striker Alexander Isak to Liverpool for a significant British record transfer fee. The Sweden international joined the Magpies from Real Sociedad in 2022 and made 109 appearances in all competitions. That's it. That's the entire statement. Compare that to how they've bid farewell to other players, and the message is crystal clear. Lisa Doherty, a prominent Newcastle voice on social media, tried to be the voice of reason. So now we draw a line. Leave players saying good luck and goodbye to their pal alone. Let Isak do Isak and forget about him. But the majority aren't ready to forgive and forget. One fan put it bluntly, the behavior he showed us, I do not think he is forever grateful. We will not forgive. The Michael Owen comparisons are already flooding in, and that's about as damning as it gets in Newcastle folklore. Owen's legacy at St. James Park is toxic, and now Isak risks being remembered in the same breath. From hero to villain in the space of a summer, that takes some doing. Quick reminder, if you want more exclusive Newcastle content like this, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. We're building something special here. What makes this even more painful for Newcastle fans is the timing. Just months ago, Isak was the hero who ended 70 years of trophy drought. His winner against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final in March 2025 was supposed to be the start of something special. Fans were already talking about him as a future legend, someone who could lead the line for years to come. Instead, he orchestrated one of the messiest exits in Premier League history. The Swedish striker missed the entire preseason tour to Asia, trained alone when he did show up, and essentially held the club hostage until they accepted Liverpool's money. Eddie Howe tried to keep the door open, saying repeatedly that Isak'S could return to the squad, but the player had already mentally checked out. Remember when Eddie Howe said back in August that Newcastle were in a lose-lose situation? He saw this coming. The manager who brought Isak'S to Tyneside for $63 million back in 2022 knew the damage was already done. Howe's class throughout. This saga deserves recognition. Never once throwing his player under the bus publicly. Always keeping that door open. Here's the million-pound question. Who comes out worse from this saga? Isak'S for forcing the move, or Newcastle for eventually caving in? Sound off in the comments. The irony isn't lost on anyone that Isak'S final meaningful contribution to Newcastle was scoring against Liverpool in that cup final. Now he'll be lining up against his former club in red, and you can bet St. James Park will give him a reception he'll never forget. The banners are already being prepared and they won't be welcoming. Some fans are trying to find a silver lining. $125 million is serious money, even in today's market. Newcastle have already brought in Nick Woltermaid from Stuttgart for $69 million and Jon Wissa from Brentford on deadline day, but replacing 23 Premier League goals isn't just about money, it's about finding someone who wants to be here, who gets what this club means. Let's talk about the power structure at Newcastle for a moment. With PF now owning 85% after Amanda Staveley's departure in July 2024 and the Reuben brothers holding 15%, the club is in transition off the pitch too. Paul Mitchell left as Sporting. Director in June, Darren Eales is stepping down as CEO due to health reasons. This Isak'S saga couldn't have come at a worse time. The damage to Isak'S reputation is irreparable. This isn't Italy or Spain where players move between rivals and are eventually forgiven. This is the Premier League. This is Newcastle United, and the Geordie faithful have long memories. Every goal he scores for Liverpool will sting. Every celebration will be seen as another betrayal. But perhaps the most telling response came from a fan who simply said, "Good. It's been written but a bit too late, and most likely not by him." That skepticism, that complete loss of trust, that's what Isak'S has to live with now. He might be earning more at Liverpool, he might win more trophies, but he'll never have what he threw away. The unconditional love of one of football's most passionate fan bases. Look, at the end of the day, Newcastle United is bigger than any one player. We've survived worse, and we'll come back stronger. If you agree, smash that like button right now. And if you want to see how this saga unfolds when Liverpool come to St. James Park, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Until next time, stay proud, stay loud, and always keep the faith. Away the lads.